All right, we're back with another episode of Look, Mum, I'm Hustling, episode 68. It's climbing up the ladder there, getting close to the 70 mark, and then we're just a hop skipping away from the big triple dig.
Yeah, the big hundo. Can't believe we're almost at that 100 mark. Like that's I think quite a good milestone. I remember when we got up to 10, we're like, oh, what a milestone. But we're actually closer to 100 now, which is even more crazier.
The show's been flying since we reinvigorated it. I think it was November last year.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like it's the last 6 months have gone so fast.
Yeah.
And then you can look back at some of the first couple of episodes we did getting back into it. And it's like, I can't remember talking about them. But then you look at the ones in that first initial run, I guess you'd call it season 1 of the show.
I call it season 1.
We did a June review. We talked about Why the Last Man.
Mm-hmm.
We did episode about hoarding versus hustling.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like so long ago. It seems like it should be 200 episodes ago, but we did have a 6-month hiatus. So we did lose 50 episodes somehow.
We did, but it also feels like that season 1 was more of a struggle to try and get the episodes going, right? It just seemed a little bit more difficult, but these ones, they seem to just flow that little bit easier, I feel.
Yeah. I think it's just the intention behind it, the mood, and I guess the conversation that we want to have, and the tone I guess tone is probably the best word.
Yeah.
The tone of the show and the conversation, without trying to be experts about every sort of topic or anything. We just roll into it every week, talk about stuff we're interested in, no real niche or anything like that, which takes a lot of the pressure off.
I think so. And it just makes it, like you said, more enjoyable, that little bit more relaxed. Where season 1, I guess, we were trying to really hone in every episode, doing a lot of research, taking a lot of time, put a lot of pressure on ourselves to put something out. But yeah, this time around, it's just you know what? If we don't have a lot of articles, so what? We're just going to chat.
Got to get into it, get it rolling, and not have it all. Because that's something I obsess over is nutting out the full map before you even take the first step. And it doesn't really get you that far. Sometimes it can work if you know the direction you want to head in, but if you just want to just head in any direction and take your first step, then the way we used to do it, it was very time consuming and not stressful, but burdensome to get those episodes up and running. Whereas now they're just far more casual. I think it might be the awesome studio that we've set up.
It is a good background. It does set the vibe as well. And I think now that we're quite a few more reps in, it's just that easier flow to get it produced, get it up and running, get it out there. It's not as strenuous, I suppose.
It's a bit odd, I think, because we had a rental inspection of the place of this home that we're the other day, and they're just
always that bloody mad dash.
The main bedroom has been converted into a podcast. So what the fuck is going on?
But she remembered. She was like, "Oh, how's the podcast going?" I'm like, "It's good." She's still talking about the same stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much, just whatever articles, whatever we want to talk about. Good time to bed." She's like, "Oh, that's good. That's good."
As long as we're not damaging the place, and we're not. We're paying the rent on time, so there's not much they can say about it.
We look after, and we make the place look nice as well. You see those really bad rental properties and stuff, but we've got nice furniture, we've got plants, we've got a vibe going, keep it clean.
Surely there's a good reality TV show of rental disasters. You know how Gordon Ramsay has
Hotel Nightmares?
Yeah, or Kitchen Nightmares, whatever it is. There's probably a couple, probably not in Australia, but in America, there'd have to be a couple of rental nightmare ones where it's just, I mentioned hoarders, people that hoard a crazy amount of stuff, or have squatters.
Oh, for sure.
Or you hear about the ones that people either don't pay rent and then just don't leave. They change the locks and stuff.
Yeah, those horror stories and stuff. They have squatters' rights or something, and it takes forever to get them out of the house and stuff. It's
a good deterrent to being a real estate investor is to watch one of those shows. There's probably a bunch of them that I'm just unaware of. Reality TV, good times.
But we look after our place, so it should be sweet. We haven't heard anything back from the inspection, so no news is good news, as they always say in the land of business.
What can they say? Take the bookshelves down and stop running your passion project. Okay, no worries.
Everything's up with 3M hooks and stuff anyway, so it's all rental safe.
Is it?
Yeah. You just have to be careful taking it down, unless you can rip the paint.
It's been done before. Speaking of reality TV shows, a synapse in my brain just connected. Swing. That's
so it's swing. I don't know. There's your synapses.
I thought of an instant connection. I'm I'll just go there immediately. Reality TV show. We watched jury duty this week.
We did. We actually smashed it out in 1 week, which is very much unlike us.
I don't know if there's that many episodes. Basically, we'll just throw this week's, we have a playlist recommendation for a couple of weeks now, but we'll chuck it up the front of this episode perhaps.
Yeah.
So you can bring this up if you want. Our viewing consideration or recommendation for this week, for those that want to kick up their feet, put their feet up after a long week of hustling, doing their side hustles, doing their entrepreneurial endeavors.
Yep, and want a bit of light heart entertainment, something to just relax to.
I think this is the go-to. It's called Jury Duty. It's an American mockumentary sitcom, and it's only been out for a couple of weeks now. It's, I believe, from the same people that did The Office. It's shot like The Office. So the premise is the production company put a Craigslist ad out for people that wanted to be part of a documentary, a real life documentary that was going to get filmed about being a jury member or doing jury duty. And then people that are in between jobs or don't have much going on or just want to get on TV or something can apply to be part of this documentary. The catch is, basically they have a court case and stuff set up. The producers all put this thing together. The catch is that everyone in the show is an actor except for one guy. So it's a combination of jury, it's obviously jury duty, judge duty type of, the level of case, the court case itself is pretty low level. It's not
it is,
billions of dollars. It's a low level court case.
So I would say the court case is like Judge Judy.
Judge Judy.
Filmed like The Office, where they talk to the people one-on-one, but with the Truman Show element where everybody is in on it except one dude.
It's it's The Office mixed with Punk'd.
Yep.
Mixed with
Truman Show
and Judge Judy.
With all the hidden cameras and stuff everywhere. That was crazy. I watch until... And from the very beginning that the one guy doesn't know, that everybody else is actors. But at the very, very end of the thing, they sort of reveal where the cameras are, how they sort of filmed it, how they kind of kept him in the dark and stuff. It's, very, very interesting. And I thought I wouldn't like it because I'm not a big fan of that sort of cringe aspect or that prank.
A major prank.
Yeah,
show.
A big prank. And yeah, I'm just not a fan of that type of thing because I just feel bad for them. But the comedy mixed in with it, because it's not mean-hearted at all. It's just just putting him in weird sort of situations or outrageous kind of how would you react if this person did something weird type scenario. It's not I don't think it's not mean-spirited at all, which is why I think I liked it. Just that lighthearted office comedy. Yeah. It really sort of helped shine, and I was finding myself laughing out loud at some points. I'm this is crazy.
It's a combination of, because not a lot of them, but a lot of the lines, I just said it, not a lot, but a lot.
A lot.
I'm not a lot there today. Some of a lot of the actors, the things they say are kind of half scripted and half improvised.
Yeah.
So you're getting a combination of the comedy from The Office mixed in with reality TV, because he's in a reality TV scenario and the rest of them are all in a scripted sitcom. So it's a combination of both in real time almost.
Yeah, well, they'd have to be, so they do have some sort of, they do have a dress rehearsal when they can get away. So like you're saying, it is some of it scripted. They do have lines, but they also need to be super talented at improv, right? Because it's all based on how this one guy's going to react. So they have no idea what he's going to say or what he's going to do in a particular situation. So they need to be able to act off the cuff in case if it goes kind of off script. Which is super interesting because he's trying to break down a case. They end up nominating him head juror.
Yeah.
And he has to pretty much tell all these people or lead them all what to do. So they're all following his lead, but they have no idea what he's going to be doing.
And he takes it super seriously.
He's such a sweet dude too. He's so sweet.
The interesting thing about the characters, some of them are a little bit out there, but it's not so far-fetched that they're not believable.
Yes.
Because you come across some weird people in life, right? Mm-hmm. People that are outspoken or more reserved or just quirky. Mm-hmm. But all the characters are so different and unique, but none of them are so obscenely
they're not obvious.
They're not obvious.
Yeah.
They're not obvious is the better word.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all believable to a degree, and you just think they're just a bunch of weird people that got chosen through the same Craigslist ad that the main guy, what would you call him? The prankee? Because he's getting pranked.
Yeah, the prankee, I suppose, yeah. The real life dude. Yeah.
So that's the recommendation for the week. Jury Duty, it's on Amazon.
Yes, Amazon Amazon Prime Video.
Prime Video.
It's on Prime Video. Also Air's on there that I really want to watch. So
Yeah.
the
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Jordan.
Jordan. As you said Ben Affleck, I just thought of Ben Affleck because I've been watching like a lot of Burt Kreischer stuff lately because he's got The Machine coming out.
Yeah.
And just like a running gag, for some reason he's just always calling him Ben Affleck every time he mentions his name.
This show, because I think it's going to be a bit of a success. It's definitely like one of those underground sort of cult classic comedies, but I don't know if they can keep doing season to season.
I was about to say,
that's going to
how
be
do
the
you do a
difficult
season
part.
2? Like you'd have to, it couldn't be Jury Duty.
No.
It would have to be some sort of like other thing where they need to get someone to take the lead on something.
Yeah. Like I'm just thinking different scenarios where you could do it. Because the bigger it gets, the less chance you have of repeating. It might just be a one season thing that can't be repeated because it's so unique.
Yeah.
And then people that watch TV have heard about it in some capacity and will catch on straight away. So it's like what other group scenarios with random people of the community are in the same place for that extended amount of time where you can get away with it, like a hospital or a church or something like that.
Yeah,
but
like
even
a
then,
neighborhood watch group or something maybe.
yeah, it can't be someone with, like I was thinking hospital, but it can't be something that involves expertise.
No.
Because then you'll be given up straight away. These people are all just random odd sorts from the community. So
Well, the litigators that were in there, they're actually real, like litigators.
they are.
Yeah.
But like the people that are there 90% of the time, the other jurors, they can't have some sort of expertise like a doctor or
no, they're just
you catch on straight away. So it has to be like an equal playing field for all the main actors and the pranky, I guess. We've named them.
And the only well-known person in this was James Marsden, which I think sort of like gave it that bit more of an outlandish feel because everybody else is like, I think they've got like a main job and like acting's like their side thing that they're like little passion project they're working on. But it was like super interesting just having James Marsden. He just played like a enhanced version of himself or like an enhanced version of like an entitled celebrity, which was really funny.
It was a fun show.
Yeah.
Very fun show. I don't know how many, was it 6 or 8 episodes?
And honestly, I didn't think I would like it. I was like actually quite apprehensive to begin with and I gave it a shot and I really enjoyed it. So
What would you give it it's rated 8 episodes, so you can knock it out in one afternoon, one evening.
Yeah, 100%. I'll give it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
7 or 8?
Yeah. Maybe 7.5. We'll do 7.5.
Let's see if there's going to be a second season.
Oh. Will there be a season 2 of Jury Duty? I mean, you probably could do it, like, because not everybody watches Prime, right?
Well, that's just in Australia. It's on a different platform in America.
The only way to sort of do this, if they do like film 2 or 3 back to back before it gets released.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You'd have to do 2 or 3, but they don't want to invest so much money. Same as any TV show. They can't just greenlight multiple seasons up front in case the first one's a complete flop.
So I'd probably do maybe 2 back to back and then go from there.
So this article is saying if Jury Duty could somehow pull another season out of the bag, it will probably be a little while before we get to see it. Speaking to USA Today, executive producer explained that the show required a whole lot of planning before they could even begin filming, aside from writing the script and casting the actors, who then had to spend weeks rehearsing in order to pull off the elaborate ruse. Heller said that they had to spend some time finding the perfect hero, narrowed down from 4,000 applicants.
Yeah, because you have to have someone who has like the personality type to be able to just react well to like weird scenarios.
Yeah, you could definitely get a dud person if you.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same as like the producers that pick people for like Survivor. You got to make sure they're mentally stable.
Yes.
Their psychology's they're not like a psychopath or like severely depressed or prone to like just
like
being
outbursts.
triggered and things like that. So like, it could be I think it's gonna be a one-off thing, which makes it even more unique and more fun.
It does, yeah.
But you can go on the main guy. His name's was it
Ronald?
Yeah. You can go on his Instagram and you can see like he just went dark for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
When the show was getting filmed and stuff. And then after the fact, he's like, obviously he knows he was in the show. Now he's like a minor celebrity. He's posting, going to events and stuff. But before that, it's just pictures of him doing like roof tiling as his job and stuff. Like,
it's just like a super normal dude. Yeah.
a clear differentiation.
Yeah. And he's a really tall dude as well. You're like, oh, he's tall.
Does that matter, do you think?
I don't know. Like he just, well, no, because like, you know, when you have like a TV show, everyone's like relatively the same height. Like it's all that kind of stuff. Like,
well, that's a good point actually, because yeah, not everyone has have the same height, but the cameras have to be work in favor of both the short and tall person.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't not that hard to do realistically.
No, but they'll make, a particular actor stand on a little stool or something if they're filming a scene or whatever it is. But yeah, it just adds to like the realism. Like he's just like literally a normal everyday guy.
Well, there'd be so many different moving parts to the filming because he has to believe it's real the whole time. So every time he gets pulled away for like a one-on-one interview, like an office style, he has to see everyone else getting pulled away for a one-on-one interview as well, so it doesn't blow the cover of the show.
Yeah.
But it's a very fun show. Like you said, there's no like malice or like dirty pranks or anything. It's all just like, it's just fun and games the whole time.
Yeah, fun and games, drama, that kind of thing. Pretty cute.
Kind of like what we do here in the Look Mum.
Yeah, just drama and fun and games.
You take that off.
Yeah, recommends.
Anything else you've seen this week?
TV show wise, not really. No. Article wise, yes. Read a few things.
Yeah, make these segments a little bit more seamless.
It's what we could do.
It's the best I can do.
It's the best we've got.
Would you have anything you want to roll off the top?
Let me try and think. Actually, the one I probably found the most interesting was the Richard Branson one. So we talked about him quite a few episodes back. A full circle moment, if you may.
We should start remembering the exact episode numbers so we can refer to them.
Maybe have a list to be like, oh, that's the thing. Or, you know what, maybe just a bit of preparation probably. Be like, hey, we're about to talk about this. We talked about it in this particular episode.
That could help.
Yeah, it could
help.
help.
I could edit it in and do that.
So quite a few episodes ago, we sort of did a bit of a deep dive. Quite a few episodes ago.
We'll just use that from now on.
Once upon a time in podcast land, we talked about Richard Branson and just about his space orbit program that he was doing, but it didn't do so well. So now they are selling it off. So he's not doing the orbit thing anymore.
He's not doing space travel at all?
No. So
that's a big call to make.
It is.
Because how much money and time has gone into that?
Yeah, and it was like a big dream for him. There was like a huge emphasis on it.
He flew to space.
He did, yeah.
So something must have happened where it just doesn't make sense financially, or the competitors are just too far ahead of his league.
Yeah, I think so. One of the biggest things was there was just too many mission failures. So a lot of it just didn't go off. So I think what he's doing is selling some of the technology, selling some of the rights. I think where I was reading, hopefully another company will sort of take over or buy it.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is from BBC. So Richard Branson's rocket company Virgin Orbit has shut down just months after a major mission failure. It comes weeks after the firm set up to launch satellites, paused operations to try and boost its finances. It had been selling off items it owns in a bid to survive, including its converted jet Cosmic Girl. In January, first ever satellite in the UK reached space but fell short. Mission was billed as a milestone for UK space exploration. Earlier this month, Sir Richard told the BBC that he had personally lost around $1.5 billion during the pandemic after lockdowns hit his airline and leisure businesses.
Yeah, so this was probably already in the works before COVID hit. Like this takes a lot of like setup and stuff to do, but because of COVID, like all those tourism companies, airplanes, all the tourism companies, airplane companies and everything as well. So just checking our phones mid thing. They lost a lot of money. They weren't working. They weren't functioning. They weren't getting a lot of business. So
trying to cover the loss by selling off the part that's not really making any money now.
Yes,
whereas
exactly.
the planes are back in motion.
Yeah, so there was a time when I thought we're going to lose everything. However, he managed to retain his billionaire status. He has a net worth of $2.4 billion, according to the latest Sunday Times rich list. Yeah, when it became clear Virgin Orbit was unable to secure long-term funding, so people just weren't investing in it, it filed for bankruptcy protection in the US early last month. So the rival startup Rocket Lab has bought most of Virgin Orbit's headquarters in California as well as other assets. The company's Boeing 747 plane, which was converted to help launch satellites, has also been sold off in a total asset of $36 million. So it's almost, it was founded in 2017. Well, that was ages ago.
Not
So
really.
it's almost like he's trying to like get some more money back into the company by selling off assets.
Selling off the stuff that's just not bringing in the dough. Because the planes are still going to be flying for decades to come, if not hundreds of years.
Oh, 100%. There's still plenty of time to like sort of get it up and running.
So it's the classic thing of not trying to grow too fast. Like we've seen a lot of we've talked about it before in a previous episode, or not to be numbered. All the tech company or the tech giants that increased all their employee numbers and hired like crazy during pandemic and stuff. And then they put too much money into that. And then they essentially just started burning, like losing money start of like last year when the economy started like slowing down, tanking down, inflation and stuff started going up. They just can't afford to have all those stuff. So it's like just trying to grow too fast.
Yes.
It just, it's hard to imagine tens of millions, if not billions of dollars invested in something that's not, you haven't like fully mapped out for decades and decades. I'm sure there was a full blueprint or a plan of like how they were going to get this thing to market to get people up into space on visits. But for 6 years, you said like 2017, not that long ago, like it's 2017 is only 6 years.
Yeah, like I guess like in retrospect, it's not that long. But
it was three years since COVID, and then that feels like it's fast. So imagine 3 years prior to that.
Yeah,
wasn't that long ago. Like 6 years is not that long to like start and stop. Like it's a pretty fast turnaround. It's not like you go like it's easy for us to say we make like six figures. We're not making these planes are worth more than that.
Yes,
obviously by tenfold. It's just crazy to think how you can just go with an idea and have so much money go into it and then just to like rein it back. I mean, sooner but rather than later, because you don't want to like continue down this path where it's just burning more and more money. Now that the planes are back and the planes are in full operation and that's where all your revenue's coming in terms of Virgin.
Yeah.
But like, it's just growing too fast in general as a business. It's like
it's not always a good thing.
Well, it's never not never, but it's like
rarely a good thing.
Rarely, yeah. It's tricky because you want to grow fast. You want to like race to the top. You want to kind of compete and be the best and dominate the market that you're in. Yeah. But it's not sometimes the smartest strategy.
No, and if you're working in a business like this that still has like emerging technology, right? Like it's not, it's not like a certain thing that's not going to evolve too much. Like it's still evolving constantly. So if you're investing all this time, space stuff, like it's still like emerging technology. There's still new things that need to be developed and new things that need to be invented and refined and all that kind of thing. So there's never going to be like a certainty or an endpoint.
Slow.
Exactly. Like it's a slow thing because you're reliant on what gets invented. And then once that's get invented, you can incorporate it. There's a lot of testing, a lot of cash to burn. Like, Elon Musk is like a great example for his SpaceX thing. Like it burns so much cash.
And he's happy to.
Yeah, because he's got that to burn. But like Richard Branson's not as wealthy as Elon Musk is. Like he doesn't have as much capital to like burn, which is why like funding was like a huge thing that he couldn't get. Like he couldn't get funding, so he couldn't support it and he can't like pay for it out of his own pocket.
That's a good point. So it's just knowing when to pull the pin, knowing when to fold.
Yeah, and that's like a business, like having a good business mindset, which is something that he's very smart on. Like he wouldn't have pulled the pin if he didn't think it wasn't sustainable long term.
And a lot of it is just like business write-offs anyway. It's not like his money. It's like it's a business went belly up.
Well, he filed for bankruptcy, so.
He did.
Yeah, the Orbit filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, but he's selling off all the assets. So it's like you're getting some money back.
Yes.
But you're not tying up future capital in new investments, new technology, new trials. Yeah. So all you can do is just like double down on the planes and just get more planes in the air. Yeah. Invest in that sort of in stuff that's already working.
Maybe in 7 years' time, he'll be able to start a new space company or something like that.
You can't just like dip in it. I don't think so. You can't just dip in and out like that. Because it's just like, same as this podcast, for example. Like we did a run of like 20 something episodes and you stopped. Yeah. And you come back, but all that momentum was lost. It's like pushing a rock up a hill. Yeah. Like you let go for a second, you're starting at the bottom again. You don't want to be starting at 7 years from now.
It's very expensive and very time consuming starting from scratch or starting from the bottom.
It won't happen. Yeah. You might get into cars or something that's more accessible for the everyday person, or more like transport's his thing. Outside of, we talked about he's come up in magazines and music stores, but transportation's his thing. So if you can get
maybe investing in driveless, flightless, like pilotless airplanes or something like that.
Ooh, that sounds risky.
Yeah, or like maybe driverless cars or something. Who knows? Like that kind of aspect.
Something that's more attainable or applicable to like the everyday household, as opposed to... Or the
technology's closer to fruition than space travel is.
So interesting. So I guess moral of the story is it's okay to fail at the end of the day, regardless of, like, he's like one of the biggest names in the business world, has been for decades. And it's sometimes you have to make the best decisions, and sometimes it's better to just call it quits before it just keeps unraveling further and further.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet it wouldn't have been an easy decision either.
Well, you have a board and stuff that helps him make... It's not like it's just him making the final say. There'd be a bunch of CEOs, CMOs, CFOs, people calling the shots. Obviously, millions of dollars invested.
People saying...
We have notifications and buzzing on every device on this table here, and it's very distracting.
I'll put it on airplane mode.
It's fine. Hopefully it's not an emergency.
No, I think it's just eBay stuff.
Okay. So, Branso.
Yeah. No more space orbits for him.
Well, I think, yeah.
Well, let me switch over while you pick an article that you want.
Is it really the end of space? Like, he probably still has a passion for it. Like, he can't...
He might invest in other companies instead of just his own.
Well, he could get a deal as like one of the other companies that buys all these assets. Could be some sort of...
You could be stakeholder or shareholder or something. Yeah.
It's true.
Could be a requirement. So you might still have that's the piece in the pie. What's the saying? The hand in the pie, cherry in the pie top.
Toe in the pool.
Toe in the pool? Yeah, that's a good one as well.
We're not like...
Piece of the pie? No, there's a saying I'm
We're
trying
not
to
very
think
good
of
with idioms.
Idioms? No. I think we make them up more than get them right.
Blend like 5 idioms into one that don't make sense until we force them to make sense.
Yeah. They're all, as long as people know what we mean, that's the main thing.
I don't think they do though.
No? Don't know the piece of the cake?
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But they're confusing two things.
Probably.
Something you won't get confused though is Instagram's new app coming hot this, US summer, probably our winter.
Oh, is this the one that got leaked?
It did get leaked.
So all right, let me switch over. I don't know too much about this. I remember you mentioned it in briefing.
We talked in the past, again, on an episode not to be numbered at this
stage.
Junction.
Just listen to them all. It's all great stuff.
50 hours available and you'll find it somewhere. We've talked about the ups and downs of Twitter of recent with Elon Musk. Chopping and changing things, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the worse. We talked about new Twitter alternatives. Blue Sky.
Blue Sky, thank you.
T2, Mastodon. But it looks like Meta, everyone's favorite, the OG.
I'd say, the OG, because MySpace is no longer the thing, so Facebook
the
is the
OG, just dominators of social media.
Yes.
Meta making an Instagram... It's kind of like an Instagram app, but based for text. So it's going to be a Twitter rival, but it's going to look and operate the same as Instagram. So it's like the familiarity there, but with text. Was a lot of the time, not a lot of the time, but people that are like influencers who like to use both Instagram and Twitter will just take a screenshot of Twitter like we do and then post it on Instagram.
But make it look pretty.
Not that that's the reason why they're doing this, but like there's a place for text-based content on Meta somewhere. But right now, Facebook has kind of lost that spark in terms of like a feed, and it's just like more ads and promotions and things.
Yeah,
Instagram's more video and photo,
100%.
But Meta see that there's a big opportunity at play because Twitter's going through so many iterations and stuff. Meta sees it as a chance to get into the text-based.
Yeah, because there's a big hole, right? So like there's half the Twitter community like are whatever or enjoying what Elon's doing. Like they don't care. They're just still posting content. Then you got the other half that are like hate it and just, need something else or want something else instead. But all these other apps that are new because they're not as established,
Yes.
they're not like holding strong.
Exactly.
So if this established, app or this established like social media platform comes in and be like, hey, you know us, you've used us before, we've used to be good, you grew up with us, all that kind of stuff. What if we introduce this?
Yep.
How would you feel?
Reliability.
Yeah.
Jumping that initial hurdle of starting from zero,
Yes.
building up like a lot of these other ones.
They can leverage what they already have to a new audience.
So we've seen it with TikTok. Everyone's scrambling to be the best platform that has short form vertical video.
Mm-hmm.
And now everyone's kind of fighting for the next text-based platform in case Twitter just falls completely through, because I think they even laid off more staff. Got a new CEO coming in and more staff are being laid off. So it's an interesting time for social media apps, whether you're a consumer or a creator of some sorts, because everyone's chopping and changing strategies. As I read just yesterday, a second ago I said everyone's fighting for digital or sort of vertical short form video.
Yes.
But everyone is also, not everyone, but Instagram and Facebook and now YouTube have stories.
Yes.
Which initially came from Snapchat. Those 24-hour stories that obviously expire after 24 hours. Instagram probably copied it 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been one of their main staples. Like, that's probably the most common feed that people will use on Instagram is the stories as opposed to the grid.
Yes, I agree with that, because I used to use Snapchat, but then when I started realizing when Instagram had the stories, everybody, not like, I think there was like, that was when the decline of like sort of Snapchat sort of happened, because you could do filters in Instagram stories, you could do all this kind of stuff. So it sort of just brought them across to a pre-established app that people were
like
comfortable
you said,
with.
reliability, already comfortable with. And then Facebook have it. They brought it up more recently. And I see some... Sorry, Sarah's fiddling with all the devices.
Yeah, keep going, I got it.
Facebook have stories as well. And then I don't even know how long ago, maybe 12 months ago, YouTube implemented the stories as well. I think you need to have a certain subscriber count to do it. It works the same way. You have, I think it lasts 7 days actually, not 24 hours. But they're actually cancelling that. They said yesterday it's going to end. They're just chopping that feature out completely.
To be honest, I never realized YouTube had stories. I know Facebook did. Yeah.
Because there's too much going on at once. They have community posts. They have shorts, which they're trying to push. Worry about that in a minute. And they have podcasts sort of getting incorporated now, and they also have stories. But like if you're a pretty heavy user of YouTube, if you're not aware of that's a thing, then you're not.
They didn't do a good job at it.
But it's also no one really uses the subscribe tab anymore. We've talked about this before. Everyone goes to the home feed now. So basically my point coming back to this new Instagram app is there's kind of a new transitioning. Everyone's trying to find what feature they can dominate and then cut the rest out.
Yeah.
So like YouTube's cutting out stories, for example. You don't really see stories on TikTok, I don't believe.
No.
And Twitter doesn't have it either. And then I think Twitter's also removing the circles feature of like the voice
Like
chat.
the Clubhouse sort of style. Yeah.
So it's every app's trying to find there's like a new, what's the word?
Trend?
Not trend, like a new redistribution, I guess, of features. So everyone's getting back to like what they're good at, as opposed to trying to do everything
all at once. Yeah. So instead of being oversaturated, they're just streamlining it into the core values.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting 12, 24 months. Coming back to the Instagram new app, I think, Meta just realizing that there's some things we're good at, some things we're not. We can be good at text, but we can't build this into Facebook or Instagram having text-based content because it's going to be too confusing to the previous user base.
Yeah.
So we'll just like create a new app to begin with. So we'll get into the article finally after that big circular.
Well, I was just going to say the writing aspect, YouTube, it's not YouTube's thing, right? Their video format, so it's not going to work on their platform.
So they know what they're like. Yeah, it's about knowing what your brand's core purpose is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's true about like the Facebook feed. Like I remember used to just like swiping through like the endless. I remember when Facebook introduced the like the infinity scroll. Like remember how you used to have to be you press the button down the bottom, load more posts? They don't have that anymore. So you just keep on going. But I can't remember the last time I did that because it's just all like ads and whatever. Like it's just
The
stuff
thing
I'm
about
not interested in.
Facebook that sucks. You said Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's because it's been around for 10 years now. There's so many pages that you've followed for years and years and years. Like I've gone and tried to remove 90% of the pages I follow.
Yeah.
And it takes so long. It's like unsubscribe. You know how you get all these junk emails. It's like to unsubscribe from all of it would take you 4 days.
Yeah.
So it's just like that feed's like clogged up now. That's not even worth going on to look at anything.
What used to happen is a lot of those pages, especially like where it was meme ones and stuff, they'll get bought out by someone else and they'll post their own content on there. That was like a big thing for ages as well. Like they'll buy someone's page because they've got the following and then they'll start advertising through it or doing their own thing through it.
All right. So Facebook, apparently it's coming back, but we'll see. So the new Instagram app could be here in June. So it's text-based. You can talk directly with, this is not announced officially, it's sort of just leaked screenshots and things. More or less the actual user interface looks exactly like Instagram, but with the text of Twitter.
Yeah.
So for example, the header and the footer of the actual app that you use in terms of the search bar and everything's the same as Instagram, but the way... I mean, it's more of a conversational thing. So you have a main comment and then a bunch of replies on there.
Yeah, I see.
Which is, they're sort of pulling DMs out and putting them into the feed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like people can have them public if they want. So I sort of like that because like when you're, so just say on Instagram, you're going through the photos, all the comments and stuff are hidden. So it's just like, it's just that comment section expanded.
Yes.
And it's got like the hearts are the same symbol, the comments are the same symbol, the share function's the same symbol.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. They're definitely a whole because the amount of people that post Twitter onto or share Twitter onto their Instagram is like crazy. It's a huge amount. Like all the main influencers or bigger people do it.
Yeah, and a big thing with these, if you're a content creator, a big thing that goes unnoticed or not represented in terms of how crucial or beneficial it is the engagement. It's one thing to get like the reach and have like a successful video or photo or something get 1 million views or 1 million hearts, but like it's all about the engagement. It's the conversation that's generated after the piece of content that's the most important thing, because that can keep you on the app longer than a 30-second video can. If you're going through 100 comments and replying to everything, potentially there's more opportunity for people to stay on one of Meta's apps for a longer time if it's based on engagement as opposed to just viewing.
Yeah, well, because it's easier to see a picture, right? Like you can scroll through pictures a lot quicker because your eye or whatever absorbs it more. But text-based, it takes you longer to read and to comprehend and to understand. So
compare what people's opinions are.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It just takes a little bit more, I guess, brain energy, a bit more concentration. So people tend to get potentially more invested. I mean, that's why Twitter does so well, because it's that, you know, that comprehension, that understanding, that reading makes you more invested.
So it's not going to be for everyone, obviously, but I'll finally get into the actual article. So the new Instagram text-based app for conversations, talk directly with your audience and peers, create with text and attach links, photos and videos, engage with likes and replies to deepen connections with friends, fans and other creators, bring your fans with you, quickly build an audience. So in one tap, you can actually follow the accounts that follow you on Instagram already. So you're getting your immediate followers straight across.
Gotcha.
So you have to build from scratch,
smart,
which is good.
Very smart.
I think you'll get notified if someone you're following is on the new app and starts posting.
Yeah.
Tune out the noise. We're taking safety seriously, equipping you with settings to control who can reply to you and mention your account. Accounts you've blocked carry over from Instagram. So it's a lot of compatibility here between the Meta apps. Our app will be compatible with certain other apps like Mastodon. Users on these other apps will be able to search for, follow, interact with your profile and content if you're public. So this is a little basic summary rundown. text-based app that may be here as soon as the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
2 questions the CEO should have asked herself before recording a...
Get ready with me.
I don't know what that means. Oh, this is just other articles from the week. This is not necessarily straight about Instagram. So the Instagram stuff is... what's the strategy for Instagram's new text app? You might have read about a new decentralized social network Instagram is building, codename P92, Project 92, or Barcelona. Its tagline is Instagram for your thoughts.
Cute.
Is it?
Yeah. Instagram for your thoughts.
Is it cute though? I don't know if that's
Yeah, like it's like a penny for your thoughts, Instagram for your thoughts.
Okay. So your handle...
that would be a good name, Penny.
Okay.
For the name, for the app. Penny. Like penny for your thoughts.
That actually, that's fuck. My immediate thought is always like whatever you say is a bit whack, but today you've been on the ball, and I'm giving you a lot of credit. That's a pretty good name.
Yeah, Penny. And it's just like a text-based thought, like old school Twitter or like old school like Facebook post was like
trademark it.
I am eating dinner.
Penny for your call it 2 cents.
Oh, that's a
2
good
chains?
one too. 2 chains, 2 cents.
Too obvious.
Penny's not.
Anyway, users on other apps will be able to search for, follow, interact with your profile and account. The app will have a centralized feed showcasing your followers and recommended content. You can post text updates up to 500 characters. That's less than an Instagram caption. You can attach photos. We talked about that, and videos up to 5 minutes. Hidden words you've selected on IG. So it's basically it will port everything over from IG, but with the emphasis on posting text.
Yeah, so they've got all this groundwork made. Like, all the guidelines are still the same, like all the info is still the same, but instead of photos, you've got text. Like it's pretty, like it would be as a cost for a business having to spend that time to like, do the community guidelines, the terms and conditions and all that kind of stuff. It's already there for them. They can just literally like do a copy and paste and move it on over.
Now, how popular do you think this would be? Because I know from people that I follow and that follow me, I would say probably less than 1% are even interested in Twitter. Then the question becomes, is it Twitter itself or is it the type of content that people just don't want to read or they're just not interested in or they want to just be fed entertainment type stuff in the forms of photos and videos, easily consumable stuff?
Yes.
What's the hurdle? Because there'll be plenty of influencers and stuff or creators that or brands that want to like write things as an alternative to Twitter and like sort of hedge their bets. But in terms of the consumer base, like what will prevent them from coming over?
So I think like one big thing for it is, yes, like you have to be into reading or into writing to actually be interested in the first place. But if they can keep it with an aesthetic, like that's why a lot of people are attracted to Instagram is because you can have an aesthetic with it. So if you can have some sort of aesthetic, whether it's a type of font or something like that to make it, I guess, more visually appealing, it would work. But again, it's definitely going to like be more targeted to those that do enjoy that reading, writing sort of aspect. So those people that just want that light entertainment, that easy consumable, the short form vertical type people, it's probably not going to be for them because they want that funny video or something like that. But if you can incorporate 5-minute videos, you can incorporate images, links, all that kind of stuff. And if you're able to break it up within the feed, it might keep them more engaged. But again, it's a different type of audience.
This is interesting because we've all heard that TikTok is the biggest thing ever. It's taking over the attention spans of the youth and anyone online really. And it's so addictive and you're getting fed new stuff all the time. But it's hard to capture someone's attention and be entertaining with text. So it's almost just like creating a whole of another avenue for people that want to engage online. Obviously, Twitter already exists. It's kind of already established. But the fact that the main player in social media wants to take a huge bet on the complete opposite type of content as TikTok and the short form entertainment stuff, it kind of talks to society at a greater level, like there's still a world where people want to be educated and to learn and read and not just be fed the latest viral video, which is encouraging.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it would just depend. So like they're sort of branding it for like creators to be able to build like a community, right? Because was it Instagram? I think we did an article ages ago. They were going to do like a community sort of style blog.
They have that on here as well. So that's kind of how it ties in as well. They're almost doing a little bit too much. So more meta updates. Instagram just announced Collaborators, a new feature that allows creators to invite fellow creators, friends, and guests to join their broadcast channel.
Yes.
So the broadcast channel is what they've added to Instagram a couple of months ago, where it's a similar thing to this new app in terms of it's like a Discord kind of thing where like it's your little community in the DM, as opposed to a one-on-one connection with you and one follower. It's you speaking to like whatever 10,000 people in your own little mini forum, but it's private, whereas the new app is kind of the same thing but public. So there's almost too much going on.
Yeah, so the broadcast channel is more of like a closed group for the people and your fans, where this one here is more of an open, anyone can sort of access it. Obviously, you have the guidelines where you have your blocked people can't access it and stuff like that. It's almost like as if the broadcast channel should be an offset of this new text-based one.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like this will be like a part of it.
But then you have to kind of that's one of my questions was. People that have Instagram, are they just going to download the app just because it's there, or they're just like, oh, I'm already everywhere. I never got Twitter in the first place. I don't know if it's going to be hugely successful. Like we've seen that we've done a topic today about Richard Branson giving up 6 years later. I don't know if it's like, what's the cutoff point before you're like, it's working and we're running with it, or it's like completely bombed? Because I've talked also about stories on YouTube. Like it's what's the runway before you just give up on it? Yeah,
that's like a fair point.
But it's also, sorry to cut you off, they're also cheap things to implement. They're not billion-dollar technology and transport. They're like literally just a bunch of code. You can just pay 50 coders to like either like update it, or like there's not a huge amount of money invested to like add a new feature or create a new app. In comparison, if they're building something from scratch, 100%. Like something physical, yeah.
Because they've got all the coding for the layout, the comments, the hearting, all that kind of stuff. Like that's already there for them. So like as a cost thing, it's not going to be that much. So they might be able to grow it for longer as opposed to something has a lot more money invested in the startup aspect to it.
Because they have WhatsApp as well, I forgot.
Yeah, they bought WhatsApp and everything. And I think I remember reading as well, they might be possibly introducing like nicknames or like, whatchamacallit, like usernames and stuff just for that.
WhatsApp.
Yeah. So that's a really interesting thing as well. Like, turning that into maybe like a social sort of media aspect type thing, but that one's more encrypted. But Instagram's known for like influencers and stuff, right? They're known for people to be able to promote and things like that. So if Instagram do launch this new app, I think what will happen is that they're probably just going to have a whole bunch of influencers helping them talk about it.
Yeah. Well, they've already got a bunch of people that influencers and stuff that are testing, or creators and influencers that are testing. You can change it back if it's not working.
Yeah.
The app initially, this new one. So I'll be all over it. I think it's an interesting thing. I
like the layout. Like it's a little bit more simple. Like Twitter.
Hopefully not as toxic as Twitter though.
No, but
it's very diverse. What word was I going to use there?
Like
divisive.
Divisive. Because like I don't super enjoy Twitter at the moment, just because there's a lot of ads and there's a lot of people that I don't follow pop up on my feed and stuff.
Yep.
So if this is like a basic, or not basic, but like an old school Facebook sort of post or feed, that would be really interesting, where you just see the people that you follow or things that you're generally interested in, because I think the algorithm on Instagram is a lot better than the algorithm on Twitter for stuff that you're interested in.
It is now, but I mean, we've seen the different iterations of how the algorithm works for half a decade or more now. Back in the day, it was chronological, and then started adding ads in. Now you're getting half the video. Like it's never going to be the same for forever. That's why you kind of you just got to take it. You're not paying for these platforms at the end of the day. You have to take it as it comes and embrace what's available to you, both as a consumer and a creator. So at the moment, yes.
Yeah.
But at what point does Twitter stop showing you people you don't follow? Like, that's one of the gripes I have at the moment. Is you're getting friends of friends of friends that are like that you would never intend to follow, that you're getting their content, and you're like, I'd rather just like not see anything, if that makes sense. Like, there's no optionality there for you to choose what content you're showing and what you're not. Twitter now is, because they've laid off so many staff and they've gone through so many changes, and Elon wants to make it like the place to go for like text-based content. They're just doing everything they can just to keep you on the app, but there's so much stuff you just get thrown in your face that you just don't want to see. But I don't know if they've sort of gone the other way, where the algorithm used to be good and you used to get stuff you just wanted. Now you're getting shown everything. Because it's only changed recently, I don't think it's going to revert back to how it was anytime soon.
It might refine.
But like, it's going to take a longer time. It's easy to just sit here and speculate and tell these app creators how the apps, how it should be based on how we want to consume things. Yeah,
but we're like, it's almost like we're like the users, right, of it. But I think like the question that I have in my head now is like, yes, if Instagram do have this text-based platform, the whole idea of having a Twitter, having an Instagram, having a YouTube, having a blog and stuff is having, I guess, a different platform for different eyeballs to come in. So is the user face on Instagram going to be too similar to that text-based one that you're not actually going to be able to grow new people or get new people across because it's all the same type of people? Whereas on Twitter, you have a different type of people, so you get different type of people following you. Does that make sense?
That's the market. It's the Gary Vee thing that the market will decide, right? Like, it's capitalism. Whatever app is the best for this type of thing will win. The best bank with the best rates will win. The best text-based app will win over time. There'll be new players that come and go. Like, it kind of sucks that they're bringing it out now for these other ones that have popped up in the last couple of months. Blue Sky and T2 and there's all these other real small players that don't have anywhere near
the pulling power,
the momentum, the driving force of Meta behind it. So they're just immediately like, why would you even like bother now? It's like the Richard Branson thing. If like he's one of the richest people in the world, and if he didn't have any competitors that just came in above him with 10 times more capital, 10 times more staff to throw at it, it might give you a reason to quit. But he's like one of the top, and he had to roll it back. Yeah. So I don't know how these other smaller ones will survive unless they have their own small pocket of community that people. It's like the Mastodon thing, or the what was the one that Trump was on for a while? Rumble. Like, they're all like so small and they can't really compete, so they just target one demographic, like far right wing people that are inclined to be
small pockets.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know how these new ones are going to survive, whereas like the Instagram one's going to be for everyone type of scenario.
Yeah. Well, like, for example, like Clubhouse, right? When that first started, that was like a huge thing because it was invite only. They had exclusivity sort of aspect to it. But I stopped using it. So I'm just wondering how many other people stopped using it. Like, it was such a huge, like the biggest app, like everyone thought it was going somewhere. It was like changing the way that people sort of listen to content or listen to podcasts or listen to like their favorite creators. But it's kind of like, I don't know if you know too much about it at all, but like, is it just gone sort of quieted off?
It's very, yeah. Like, it'd be a small group of people that would just stick through it to the end. Like, think about like Snapchat. No one really uses it. But there's some people that like are making a shitload of money on there because there's all the competitors have also gone as well. The consumers go, but the competitors go as well. Like, I was reading David Dobrik's like killing it on Snapchat, but you'd be like, he's nowhere else. Like, it's like an exclusive deal almost. There's only one place to see this creator. And if you've stuck with him the whole time through his ups and downs, you're going to go wherever he goes. But that's not really like a long-term play, because that sooner or later you're going to be like, I'm kind of over David Dobrik. I'm in my 30s now.
Well, that's where that whole 1,000 true fans sort of ties in, right? All you need is your, like, as a creator, no matter what platform you're on, no matter, I guess, what content you put out, if you have your 1,000 true fans, then you're going to be supported.
But yeah, the thing is, where are they, and will they move with you? Like, what if people, because you seen like a month ago with the whole blue check fiasco with Twitter, all the celebrities like, I'm leaving. Like you chopping and changing, you're changing all these rules. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm leaving. So like, are their followers going to go with them? Like, how obsessed or how entrenched in their culture or their community are you to like want to just follow them wherever they go?
Yeah, go to a new app, sign up to a new app, so input all your stuff, start from scratch.
So the 1,000 true fans thing, started by Kevin Kelly, is like, it makes sense and it does work, but it's like, will they follow you everywhere, or how much control do you have over them, or are you at the wheel of the app itself? Which is why everyone starts or eventually tries to do some sort of email newsletter or have an email list. So regardless if you get cancelled or an app shuts down or your account gets blocked or deleted or whatever happens, you still have access to your fans. It's all about the access at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting times ahead. All the apps are changing. Everyone's changing strategies and stuff. And if you're a small-time hustler or entrepreneur, it's good to stay in touch with these little updates and things, and then jump on things. I mean, just do what you enjoy doing at the end of the day. Don't just jump on it because it's a new thing.
It's new. But I think it's definitely, this particular one is definitely watch this space to see what does happen and what it evolves into. I think for them, if they can play the long game like they did with Instagram, like they did with Facebook or whatever, they'll probably end up like being a true competitor to Twitter, but it's going to be the long game. Like, you need the time to be able to build up that community and make that really like solid foundation.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I'm just going to throw a basketball analogy out there, watching the playoffs now. Is it because like who will win the text-based one? Is it because one team is playing better, or is it because one of the other one is just failing at some degree?
Gotcha,
like, is it going to be Twitter continues to burn with the new CEO coming? There's too many changes, too much happening, and their downfall means the other competitor has an easier run to the top?
Yes.
Or is it
like a true comparison? They just keep making each other better constantly.
Yeah, like who do you get? Does the person that wins on their own merit, or they win just because the other team was like failing?
Yeah, I hear what you mean. Yeah, because like those ones that win on their own merit, they're the ones that are going to be there long term. Yeah,
they can both be just like not moving backwards. But it's like, I don't know, it's a weird analogy to make, I guess.
No, I hear what you mean. Yeah, because like if you win because there's purely a gap in the market and the other team aren't doing too well, then like something's going to happen in the future and someone else is going to overtake you instead.
Yeah. Or the other team can just be not even going backwards. They can just be stagnant and doing the same thing forever, which is almost just as bad as like slowing down or making too many changes or moving backwards. So, I mean, you can't predict these things, right? Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But like you said, the Facebook and Instagram have changed and chopped their algorithm so many different times. It's more than likely this new text one will be around for the long haul anyway. They're just going to do the same thing in 3 years, change the algorithm. But it's almost like Twitter has not control, but they kind of dictate how both apps will operate. You know what I mean? Like if Twitter like keep making all these new advancements, improving, then this one has to compete. But if Twitter just keeps like bouncing all over the place.
Yes, yeah. If they're just like pure chaos all the time, then like whatever this text-based Instagram one might not even grow to its full potential.
Yeah. Or if Twitter just goes so hard in the paint that they just can't compete.
Interesting.
I think it's also this like a psychological hurdle. Like we initially said, it's the reliability of Instagram, knowing in one click, everything I do on Instagram will be here over here, as opposed to signing into a brand new thing into Twitter, because there's not that many people that use Twitter in my sort of group that I follow or that follow me. It's a very small select proportion of people. It's all visual based. But anyway, I'm excited. Any Do we have any? This is just an app episode. Any other app news?
No, there was just it was just like a bit of a business thing where Shutterstock is like buying Giphy. So
Shutterstock, the stock image website.
Yes, yeah, because like Facebook bought Giphy, and the European, the body that like the competition European whatever that group is weren't happy.
You say bureau if you're
Bureau,
ever confused.
Yeah. The European Bureau of like buying stuff weren't super stoked in it, and Facebook had to sell it as soon as possible. But the whole reason why for Shutterstock to acquire Giphy is they need to make sure that the GIF keyboard is still in action, because a lot of different apps and a lot of different companies use that GIF keyboard, which is like super interesting. And then Facebook will also sign a deal to be able to continue to use those images as well. Like a licensing deal. It's very, very messy.
All that went over my head. So Giphy is the GIF website where you can upload and create GIFs and memes and stuff.
Yeah, and they have
Shutterstock bought them.
Yes.
Because they want to have a license. You have to like be part of Shutterstock to like use Giphy.
So no. So what happened was Facebook bought GIF.
Yep.
Or Giphy. But
they use it in the messaging system,
yes,
DMs.
Yeah, because they use it in because there's a keyboard attachment and stuff.
Yep.
But there must have been some underground deals and stuff, and the European Bureau, whatever it's called, it should be in the article.
UK's Competition and Markets Authority.
Yes. They breached competition law when buying Giphy back in December 2021, and they weren't happy about it. So then they
so they monopolised.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then they in that case or in that ruling, they had to sell it as soon as possible while also keeping everything intact. Like they couldn't break apart the company or anything like that. So they had to keep the whole company intact and sell it as soon as possible. So they put a bid out there and Shutterstock put up their hands.
They didn't want. It's the same as when we were talking about Call of Duty and Xbox. They didn't want them to monopolize.
Like the messaging market almost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
because you can get the GIF keyboard on your iPhone Messenger app, like all that kind of stuff. So I think because it's also on Android, iPhone, things like that, maybe there could have been a potential that Facebook would only allow it on Facebook Messenger only and take it off. Yeah.
But why does that It's all fair and love and war. So now Shutterstock have it.
Yes, so Shutterstock put up their hand and said, we'll take it.
So then every other app can now use it as opposed to just Facebook.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So all these kind of things.
Who uses GIFs anymore?
I haven't used GIFs in a really, really long time, like memes and stuff.
There's a good GIF actually I used to send the boys in the gaming chat.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it before?
I don't know which GIF you're talking about.
I don't know if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it in real time.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Yeah. So that was why you're like, do you have any other app news? I'm like,
This is the best GIF I've ever seen as well.
Yeah. Because you're like, do you have any app news? And like, this is probably the closest thing. But this just shows you that, even those big companies will buy stuff. I think they bought it for like so much more money and they sold it at a loss because they had to get rid of it as soon as possible. What is kid drinking water? Is this the one where the water goes everywhere?
I'll find it.
Okay.
Just keep talking. Here we go.
You got it? Oh,
it plays on here. This is the best GIF. It's just like, it's amazing. I love it. Makes me laugh every time.
So is this when someone did something silly?
Yeah, it's called Kids Are Fucking Stupid on Reddit.
Oh, no. He drank it upside down. Is that Rihanna?
It's just like you think you suck at life and then it is Rihanna.
Just go straight down his shirt.
All right, we'll end it there. Thank you guys for listening. Kids aren't fucking stupid, but this
podcast
a subreddit apparently says, they can be, I guess.
They can be silly. They just don't know. They don't have a lot of social awareness.
If you want to find it, it's just search idiot kid GIF, and it's a kid that can't drink juice properly. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week for episode 69.
Oh,
maybe we can. Not technically 69, but maybe you can just
switch paces. That would trip people up. I'll be so weird looking at what's behind me, just the wall, and you'll be looking at that would be kind of funny.
Might throw us off completely.
Should we dress up in like raunchy outfits?
I thought we already did that.
Kind of. You could be like a macho man, like a Magic Mike type dude, and I can be in like a nurse's outfit or something. No? Okay.
I think just the switching seats is enough.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I don't know. This is a family-friendly show.
Is it?
Up until about the 50-minute mark, usually.
Yeah, usually.
All right,
Could you
guys.
imagine if it went for like 2 hours? Then it would get really loopy.
We should go for 69 minutes next episode then.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Bang on 69.
All right,
All right.
bang on 69. See
Thank
you
you,
guys.
everybody. Bye.